Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be learning how to illustrate this fur from this fashion sketch. So if this is something that you are interested in, then please keep watching. Okay, so I'm starting with the basic outline, and for the fur renderings, I'm beginning by making light markings around the silhouette of the garment and accessories. Try to focus on creating subtle curves that follow the natural direction of how the fur would actually lay in real life. So for this, it can be helpful to have a reference photo in hand just so that you can examine any realistic details and understand how the garment might be structured in real life. So don't worry right now about trying to get all the details just yet. Concentrate on just establishing those basic curves for now. Okay, so I colored my body and face off camera, and next I need to choose the colors that I'm going to use for the fur. And I've already tested a few options here, so I just need to pick which one I want to use. And it's important to note that when you are selecting a color range, to pick colors that are close in tone, that are going to transition from light to dark. So for this, I typically choose 2 to 3 shades for those highlights and depth and shadows. But today, I think I'm just going to stick with 2 for this look, and I'm kind of aiming towards the blue shades. Okay, so let's get started on the hat. We're going to grab our darkest shadow tone, and for me, this is the color Cornflower, and we're going to start outlining our fur markings. Next, we're going to be grabbing our lightest tone, and I'm using the color Blue Pearl and just coloring in the whole hat. Okay, so next I'm going back in with my darkest shadow color, Cornflower, and I'm just darkening all of my shadow areas. Then I'm grabbing my Prismacolor colored pencil in the color Violet Blue, and I'm just tracing over the fur outlines to add some dimension. After that, I'm going back in with Cornflower, coloring in the hat, and going over any shadow points again. And then next we'll just move on to the fur rendering. So to draw out the fur strokes, I am creating small strokes sporadically throughout the hat. And as I mentioned earlier, we are making markings that would go in the direction of how the fur would naturally lay in real life. So just keep that in mind when you are creating your renderings here. Once I have drawn out all my fur renderings, I like to go in with a white ink gel pen and just make random white strokes here and there just to add some highlighting effect. And if you find that it comes out a little bit too strong, you can always soften it a little bit by blending it with your lightest shadow color. Okay, next let's work on the collar. So I'm starting off by outlining the fur strokes with the color Cornflower and then using that same color to color everything in. Next, I am going in with my colored pencil, and I'm just going to start outlining my fur starting from the outside and then going towards the inside. Then once I'm done with that, I'm filling in the middle gap with some fur renderings, and imagine just drawing out some shapes that look like a Christmas tree leaf. And then to add more depth, I'm going back in with Cornflower to darken those renderings, and then just add in some more pencil strokes for some more definition. Okay, so next we're going to be working on coloring the rest of the dress. So I'm basically repeating the same steps as earlier when it comes to the shadowing. I'm going to be outlining my dress in Cornflower, filling it in with Blue Pearl, and then later going back in with Cornflower coloring in the whole sketch. You'll notice this already creates some sort of depth to the shadowing effect, so when I go over it again with Cornflower, it just accentuates those shadow points even more. And to make the dress stand out even more, I like to outline everything with my colored pencil. I feel like this just really helps emphasize the colors and the details of my sketch a little bit more. Another trick I like to do is to use my gel pencil to highlight certain aspects of my sketch. So as you see here, I'm using my gel pen to bring out the details of my belt. Okay, so next I want to show you a closer view of how I did the cuff. So say this is the outline of your first sketch. You're gonna want to start bringing these fur renderings aiming towards the center of your cuff. And same for the bottom, is just start bringing these towards the center. And then you'll see, like, as you get closer, you kind of have like that gap, but just start filling it in. And then if you want, we can start with our Cornflower color and just start outlining that. then color everything in. And then we can go in with our colored pencil and just start focusing on creating those fur renderings. I really need to sharpen my pencil, but this would look a little bit more better, but for the sake of the video and me not stopping it, this is what we're gonna get. Now the purse is a little bit different. We're still gonna outline the same way and coloring it in, but when you're doing your pencil markings, you're gonna almost see like the middle section as like segmented into 3 different sections. If you see here, the fur is curving down towards the bottom into these 3 different sections. So it's gonna look something like that. Next, I just like to darken those shadows again using corn flour and then going over with some more colored pencil just to add more depth to my fur renderings. Lastly, I am just coloring in the shoes, and I'm just basically coloring everything with corn flour, using some gel pencil to add some highlights and also adding some to the straps of the shoes. And then we're done. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video and that you all have learned something new that you can apply to your future fashion sketches.